Okay, I believe we are recording, and hopefully everything looks right here. So we're going to just do a real quick review of our gestures here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cover two new things. That's it. They're relatively small in the grand scheme of things. And I've got the video. Hopefully you can see the iPhone in front of me. And I actually need to do the share screen of my phone. So that is there as well. I'm going to go back and double check the recording to see if you can see my hand. Just because I'm going to introduce the rotor a little bit. We'll go over it in more detail in class this week. But I wanted to make sure you guys had a little exposure, a little fresh up on it. Now, to review, I'm going to go into settings. I'm going to go to accessibility in VoiceOver, kick it on. When I kick it on, VoiceOver practice shows up. And in that case, I can click it. Now, hopefully you guys are hearing that. I'm actually going to lower my microphone down to see if it'll catch it a little more. And I'm going to crank it up a little more. There. Let me reshare just to make sure the share is carrying the audio, because that can be a problem sometimes. Share sound. Good. Share. And there we go. So that should improve the situation.
Selected general button 1 of 3.
So we've got in here, like I had mentioned before, the general handwriting and braille. We're not going to do anything with handwriting or braille. Those are just features I have on. Just to make sure our hand is warmed up, that we're good for our gestures, we're going to give ourselves a right swipe. Oh, never mind.
Selected general practice voiceover gestures, commands, and typing in this area. Select the done button in the top right corner and double 2-finger single tap, toggle speech.
So my cursor was up top, and when I give
Selected
the right
general
swipe,
handwriting button 2 braille button 3 done button. Practice voiceover gestures, commands, and typing in this area. Select the done button in the top right corner and double tap to exit.
And I'm going to actually slow the voice down a little bit. It's probably a little fast for y'all.
2-finger rotate counterclockwise.
So
Previous
I
rotor.
need to.
Done button. Done.
And
Voiceover practice button.
This gives us an opportunity to learn one of our rotor commands.
Speaking rate heading.
Right swipe to speaking rate.
Speaking rate 65%.
Right
adjustable. Swipe up or down with 1 finger to adjust the value.
Whenever you have an adjustable item, it is a rotor control. So I'm going to go down.
55%.
And I'm just putting my finger over it, and I'm not moving my whole hand or anything. I'm just bending the knuckles at.
45%. 55%.
We're going to go 55%.
Speaking rate. Voiceover practice. Accessibility. Practice voiceover gestures, commands, and typing in this area. Select the done button in the top right corner and double tap to exit.
And I'm going to right swipe.
1 finger swipe right, move to next item. 1 finger swipe left, move to previous item.
Give a double tap.
1 finger double tap, activate.
2-finger tap.
2-finger single tap, toggle speech.
I'm going to do a 2-finger up.
2-finger swipe up, read from top.
2-finger swipe down.
2-finger swipe down, read all.
And I'm going to do a 2-finger double tap.
2-finger double tap, magic tap.
And then I'm going to do a 2-finger triple tap.
2-finger triple tap, show item chooser.
Now, this is something we will get into more in next class. The item chooser is an amazing tool. But I just want to make sure we've got triple taps down. 1-finger triple tap.
1-finger triple tap, perform long press.
So that's the equivalent of leaving your finger on the screen, right? So my hands are loosened up.
Practice voiceover just done button.
Dragging to the upper right-hand corner. Clicking done.
Voiceover practice button. Speaking rate.
Right.
Speaking rate 55%. Speech button. Voice Moira button.
I'm going to turn Moira off for y'all. Some of you are probably already annoyed.
English, US, Agnes, button. English, US, download Agnes, 1.5 megabytes, button.
Actually,
English, back button. English, Agnes, button. Kathy, button. English, US, heading, Kathy.
Selected, Kathy.
oh no, that's horrible.
English, Kathy, head, English, back button, English, selected, Kathy, button,
What is it? Alex is good. Evan's good.
Nope,
Fred's
selected.
good.
Liz, Ricky, Noel, Ralph, Samantha,
I
button,
think Samantha.
English, US, heading, Samantha, using 11 megabytes,
Selected. Samantha.
is
Using
the
11 MB.
default.
Download Samantha. Enhanced. 152.2 MB. Button.
I'm going to download the enhanced version, double tapping it. It just has some like better inflection. So that'll come.
Started downloading Samantha. Enhanced. Stop downloading Samantha. Enhanced. 152.2 MB. Stop downloading Samantha. Enhanced. 152.2 MB. Samantha. Selected. Samantha. Enhanced. Using 167.3 MB.
So there's a lot more in the file. It's bigger. And then I'm going to left swipe out of here.
Edit. Samantha. English. Back button. English. Selected. Samantha. Enhanced. Button.
2-finger up swipe to get to the top.
Speech.
And then 2-finger single tap to stop. Now, this is a command we're going to use a lot. If I'm somewhere
Nathan. Button.
and I want to get to the top, 2-finger up, 2-finger tap. And in that two swipe action, I've gotten my cursor to the top of the page and it's not moving. And then I can double tap back.
Voice. Samantha.
2-finger up,
Voiceover. Back.
single tap. Double tap.
Voiceover. Speech. Button.
2-finger up.
Accessibility. Back button. Voiceover recognition.
2-finger up.
Accessibility. Back.
2-finger
Nav bar. Top
single.
of screen. Settings.
To shush it, 1-finger, double tap, press it. Again, 2-finger up, 2-finger single, double tap.
Settings.
So that is a routine that you can work on, and you can very easily get there by just going in
Accessibility. Button. Vision. Heading. Voiceover. On. Button.
Voiceover.
Voiceover speaks items on the screen. Speech. Button.
speech,
Voice. Samantha. Voice. Samantha. Button. Selected.
Voice.
English. US.
and you can now, you've gone deep in a bunch of different menus, and now you can practice your 2-finger up, 2-finger single, 1-finger double. Yes, you can probably take the 2-finger single out of there. But I would be cautious. If you're not fast enough, it might move on. So 2-finger up, 2-finger single,
Speech. Back button.
Double
Speech.
tap.
Voice. Samantha. Button. Voiceover. Back button.
single, 1 double
Voiceover.
tap,
Speech.
Up.
Accessibility. Back button.
single, double tap.
Accessible. Voiceover. Settings. Back button. Accessibility. Heading.
Oh, it's
Vision.
running.
Heading. Voice.
I missed it. 2-finger up,
Settings. Back button.
2-finger single, double tap.
Settings. Settings. Heading.
And it's really important to realize, like, it's just muscle memory, right? It's just getting good at this with muscle memory. So at this point, I hope you guys have taken some time.
Wallpaper. Button.
And you have also been practicing your home screen. For those of you who don't have a home button, that you know who you are. Going up from the bottom, listening for the sound effects.
Home.
And so you've been able to do those same things.
Clock. 2:32 p.m. Comms folder. 15 apps. Games folder. 6 apps. 1 new item. Search. Page 1 of 13. Adjustable.
And you'll notice I made a mistake there. I was at the top.
Calendar. Monday. Clock. 2:32 p.m. Comms folder. 15 apps. Apps folder. 22 apps. 51 new items.
But my finger was a little
Double doc.
slow.
Messages.
Oh,
158 unread messages.
Pop to the
Comms
bottom
folder.
again,
15 apps. 7 new items.
right?
Double tap to open.
So this practice is always important to us. Now, what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you the rotor. And in order to show you the rotor, I'm going to
Pick
Get-
notes.
into a notes app.
Notes. All.me. Back button.
And when you get into a notes, I just want you to be able to see the different behavior. You can see I have a note up where I was doing some algebra. I'm going to create
Toolbar. New node. Button. Double tap to compose a new node.
And so because this is a new environment, we're going to do our 2-finger up and listen.
All.me. Back button. Share button. More button. Note. Image attachment. Large. Finding a limit in exercises 45. 50. Write a simpler function. Handwriting attachment. Possible handwriting. X plus 5. 15. X plus 58. X plus 5 equals 4 by 2y. Text field. Handwriting attachment. Possible handwriting. X plus 5. 15. X plus 58. X plus 5 equals 4 by 2y. Checklist. Off. Button. Camera. Button. Handwriting. Button. New node. Button.
And we hear the thunk, which tells us we're at the bottom, right? And I just want to, you guys notice that actually the handwriting recognition is actually pretty good for my chicken scratch on here. I was writing with my finger on an iPhone, which is a really small space to work with. But I'm going to create a note here.
Note. Text field is editing. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
So
use the rotor to access misspelled words.
So it right away tells us use the rotor for something. And so we're going to use the rotor here, and we're just going to listen. The way you activate the rotor is by holding your fingers as if you were unscrewing the cap of like a 1-liter bottle. Okay, holding them slightly apart. And I like having a little visual aid for this. I've got a cap spray bottle of some like eyeglasses cleaning fluid here. And I'm just going to hold my fingers around it so that my fingers extend past the end of it. And I'm going to put them on the screen and twist.
Lowercase.
Like I'm turning a dial on an old stereo or on a car volume, things like that.
Handwriting. Lowercase. P.
Mhm.
Characters. Characters. Handwrite. L. Lower characters. Format. Button. Handwriting. Words. Containers. Note. Text field is editing. IPL. Insertion point at end.
It's easy.
Use the rotor to access misspelled word.
It's easy when you're first working with the rotor for you to miss. There's a couple other methods for rotor. One is to put your thumb down and kind of flick your other finger around it.
Cap T. Tango. Handwriting. Word.
And I've never had a lot of success with this method.
Cappy. Cappy.
See,
Selection
I'm
deleted.
just doing all kinds of stuff. And having some difficulty. I'm going to undo that.
Undo.
That was
Undo.
fun.
Note. IPL. It's easy when you're. Characters. Words. Lines.
So there's a lot on the screen right now that we could possibly tap or type or hit when we're here. But notice that I can move
Containers.
through.
Speaking rate. 50 settings. Typing mode. Touch type. Text selection. Volume.
And I can
80%.
keep turning that dial.
Text selection. Typing mode. Touch settings. Speaking rate. 50 containers.
And I can go back the other way. The rotor is going to be a tool that we're going to use very soon, but I wanted to bring it up this week, especially in reference to a note, which we're going to spend some more time in soon, because I wanted you to see the different typing methods in VoiceOver. So I'm going to go to typing mode.
Settings. Typing mode. Touch typing.
So I'm currently in touch typing. I'm going to swipe up to change the selection.
Standard typing. Direct touch typing. Touch typing.
So touch typing,
Standard typing.
standard typing,
Direct touch typing.
and direct touch typing.
Touch typing. Standard typing.
So I'm going to double tap on standard typing.
Insertion point at end. V.
And so now
Victor.
you can see all of you guys should by default be in standard typing. The default or the standard way VoiceOver types. And that is that whenever
E.
you're on the keyboard,
Echo.
it doesn't type anything until you double tap. So I'm going to
Space.
space and I'm going to type the word for I'm going to move my finger until I hear
U,
F
Y, H, G, F. Foxtrot,
and double type.
F, F, G, H, U, I, O. Oscar, O. K, G, F, T, R. Romeo, R.
And you'll notice I'm getting my finger down on the keyboard somewhere in the middle. Like I know my home row. So I kind of know where the letters are. I know the keyboard. In order to use this typing, you kind of need to know the keyboard. But I'm not typing right in on the letter. So the first thing I want you to do when you're learning VoiceOver and learning how to type is don't tap right. Don't use your vision to directly touch the letter you need.
Space. Space, 4.
Put your finger somewhere on the screen, drag and listen. Practice listening. Look away from your device. It's easy when you're I don't know. I'm going to type the word me. I'm just picking a word at random. So I'm going to put my finger on the GH, and I know M's in the lower right-hand side.
N, M. My, N. November.
And N and M sound similar.
M. N. Return. M. N. B. N. M. Delete. M. Mike.
And it says Mike to let me know not November.
N. November.
And if I get confused about N and M because they sound familiar, rather than leave my finger on it, I can right swipe or left swipe to go between them.
M. Mike. N. November. M. Mike. M.
And I could left swipe all the way back up to the letter E.
Shift L K J A G F D S A P O I U Y T R E. Echo E.
And type that way. It's really inefficient, but this is your standard typing mode. And this is how,
Return.
most people learning to use VoiceOver
New
will
line.
learn.
Me.
Now, the other typing modes, and I'm going to activate the rotor and get back to typing mode.
Lines. Handwriting. Containers. Speaking rate. 50 settings. Typing mode. Standard typing.
Mode. And I'm going to swipe down
Touch typing.
to touch typing and double
New
tap.
line.
Now the mode touch typing is I can move my finger around, but now when I lift my finger, it will type that particular letter. So
Cap I.
I,
T. T. Space. Space. It. I. D. S. S. Space. Space is E. W. W. R. R. I. T. T. I. B. N. N. G. G. E. Space. Space. E. W. W. H. H. E. E. N. N. I. Space. Space. I. Space. Cap I. K. L. L. I. F. F. T. T. Numbers. Period. Lift. Letters. Numbers. Return.
now notice it didn't do the return though. And if I were to type a couple extra letters here,
Space. Cap C. J. J. C. C.
and I go to delete,
C. F.
it
Delete.
will
J. F. Delete. Cap C.
delete.
Delete. Space. Return.
It won't return unless I double tap though.
New line.
So that is direct typing. First was standard, that's direct.
Lines. Words. Characters. Misspelled word. Edit. Audio destination. Braille screen input. Hints. On. Sounds. On. Punctuation. Volume. 80. Text selection. Typing mode. Touch typing.
I'm going to go down.
Direct touch typing.
Now, direct touch typing is what I recommend that you never use with VoiceOver. You will run into people who are low vision users who do, but I'm going to recommend you never use it because that is,
Space. Capital I. C. A.
can
F. Space. S. E.
C
Space. A. N. D.
and
Space. N. S. D. Delta. D O I. India.
So you'll notice that it allows me to
I R E C T G
and direct
G space direct.
and just tap. I can also leave my finger on,
M my H G
but I can't double tap the M. You see that?
G M
I can double tap up there though. Watch that again.
delete M G F G M
If I
Mike.
double tap down on the keyboard down here,
G
because direct typing, touch typing is directly, if I tap, it presses those letters. I can't,
I
as long as it's on the key. If I go to the top of the screen outside of the keyboard where direct touch typing happens,
space gap I India I T T space note. I can see indirect
so
gag in it.
it gets a little messy, right? So I really don't encourage using direct touch typing. I've seen people use it. I think you can, but that whole lower end, top end, maybe you miss, you type letters you don't. It's a hot mess, in my opinion. Now I'm going to go
Actions, misspelled word,
where
edit,
typing
misspelled
goes.
word, actions, handwriting, characters,
And you'll notice
words,
when I go back into the rotor,
lines, containers, speaking rate, 55 settings. January
It's-
29th, 2024,
it's not
handwriting,
staying.
lowercase, volume, 8 punctuation, sounds, on, hints, on, braille screen input, audio destination, edit, characters, words, containers, speaking rate, 55%, settings, handwriting, volume, 80 punctuation, some, sounds, on, hints, on, braille screen input, landscape, charge port to the left,
Okay, we've got a problem here.
portrait,
I no longer have touch typing. Isn't showing up. I just went through the whole menu. I'm going to try again.
characters, words, containers, speaking rate, settings, handwriting, volume, 80% punctuation, sounds, on, hints, on, braille screen input, audio destination, edit, characters, words.
I'm back to characters and words. Now notice what happened. My voiceover cursor, when I was typing around and swiping around and stuff, somehow ended up in the date above my document. So my voiceover cursor, even if my keyboard cursor is in the document, my voiceover cursor is not. Since I can't type where my cursor is, typing mode won't show up. If I right swipe,
Note, text field is editing, IP insertion point at start, insertion point at end,
now if I go in,
handwriting, characters, words, lines, containers, speaking rate, 5 settings, typing mode, direct touch typing,
there's typing mode. So notice that it doesn't necessarily, like it only gives you certain menu options when you're somewhere where that menu is relevant, just like the voiceover gestures practice. Same thing depending on where your cursor is. So that's an important thing about the rotor. The rotor always changes depending on where you are and what you're doing. So you can lose things. You can have a lot of options in there. And when I go back in,
standard typing,
I'm
direct
still
touch
in
typing,
typing, but if I type,
space. Use the rotor to access misspelled words, space.
now if I swipe,
End of text. I can see indirect gag. It is writing when I lift. It is writing
I'm
when
no
I lift.
longer in typing mode. I've got to get back.
Handwriting, containers, speaking rate, settings, typing mode, direct touch typing,
Anytime you're using something in rotor, you need to make sure you're there.
standard typing,
So standard typing we talked about,
touch typing,
touch typing we talked about,
direct touch typing,
direct touch typing we talked about.
standard typing,
So those are those 3 methods of typing when you're there. Standard is a good place to start. Direct touch typing when you get more comfortable, and or touch typing when you get more comfortable. Direct touch typing, I would wave off of that. I wouldn't try it. Even low vision users, it's a tiny screen. You might type something wrong, and then the behaviors get weird about double tapping and everything. It gets a little messy. So there is a document and typing in it. We will go more over kind of exploring notes and some rotor features in class, but I wanted to give you guys just a little intro to the rotor and a little something for typing, because you're probably tired of just swiping around at this point. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys. I'm going to go to done.
Done. All.me.
And I'm
Back
gonna-
button.
1, 2, 3,
Voiceover off.
and then close that out. And see you guys in class. Bring the video. Be gone. Maybe how that works.